We're back with our Walk on Water study, and we're in week 6. Can you believe it? We're halfway there, and our theme this week is courage. And so let's open up our books and dive in. So last week, the disciples were in great fear because they saw this image walking toward them, but they didn't recognize Jesus. Their fear had blinded them and paralyzed them. And so now Jesus responds, and he says in our anchor verse in our Walk on Water study in Matthew 14:27 through 28, but Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it is you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." And so Jesus spoke, and Peter wanted confirmation that it was really Jesus. But it's interesting the phrase that Jesus uses. He says, take courage. So what does it actually mean to take courage? You're going to find out on day 1, page 72 and 73. I'm not going to give it away. You'll see it in the book. And so day 2, we're moving to one of my favorite biblical characters, beside Jesus, of course, and it is Queen Esther. And when we think of Esther, we always think of the word courage, right? Because she went to the king, "If I perish, I perish." But something very interesting you're going to learn in day 2 is how she prepared for that time with the king. And where did that courage come from? So day 2, you are going to find out some more information because God is constantly working behind the scenes in our life, just like he was in Esther's life. And so day 3, we're moving on. David and Goliath. We all know the story from Sunday school. And David has such incredible courage. And I love what he says in 1 Samuel 17:45 to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." So he is coming in God's strength. And we know what happens, and it was an opportunity. An opportunity. David stepped into an opportunity to showcase God's power because we know there's no way he could have defeated this giant Goliath on his own. Day 4 is the story of Joshua. And after Moses dies, Joshua is the new leader, and he is to lead the people finally after 400 years of when God made this promise to Abraham. And now it is time to claim the promised land. And Joshua goes with courage. "Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go." That's Joshua 1:7. So we'll find out in day 4 how Joshua prepares for battle. And it will help us prepare for our battles because we know there's a battle going on in the spiritual realm, right? We know there is a spiritual battle. We have battles here in the physical realm too. So how do we prepare? We can learn a lot from Joshua on day 4. And day 5, we're in the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego because they would not bow down to other gods. And so they were thrown into the fire. They had so much courage. And who is in the fire with them? The Lord. There is a 4th person in that fire. And so their faith was tested and they prevailed. And we'll see in day 5 what happened. If you don't know the story, it is a great story of faith and courage, of God empowering them, that no matter what happened, it didn't matter. They were going to obey the Lord. And so we have just a wonderful week of stories on courage and what courage means and where courage comes from. Because we don't just get courage. You don't wake up one day and go, "Oh, I'm going to be courageous." Or when you're in the fire or the fire is on the line, where does that power come from? We know it comes from the Lord. And so tune in to our lessons this week. And next week, let's see what we have coming. Week 7, our theme is invite. With one word, Jesus invited Peter to come out of the safety of the boat onto the water. And so tune in next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.